They said I couldn't walk again. They said my dreams were over. But I realized something. It's not their voice that defines me. It's the voice inside me that I had silenced for too long. The moment I stopped seeking validation from others and started focusing on my own healing, growth, and purpose, that's when I shocked everyone. Today I'm here to tell you, the greatest transformation begins when you stop chasing people and start chasing your best self. You know, one of the hardest lessons I had to learn was this. Not every voice around you deserves a place inside you. We live in a world that never stops talking. People will tell you who you should be, what you should do, what you can or cannot achieve. And sometimes they'll do it not because they know you, but because they don't know themselves. Their noise becomes your confusion. Their doubt becomes your fear. And before you even realize it, you start living a life designed by their expectations instead of your dreams. I remember when I found myself surrounded by voices that were loud, some sympathetic, some judgmental, but all of them trying to define my destiny. They told me to accept defeat, to lower my vision, to be realistic. And for a while, I believed them. Because when the world keeps repeating something, it starts to sound like the truth. But then I ask myself, how could they know my limits when they've never walked in my shoes? How could they know my strength when they've never felt my pain? That's when I realized the problem wasn't their words. The problem was that I had stopped listening to my own. When you start silencing the noise around you, something magical happens. You begin to hear the whispers of your own soul. You begin to understand that validation is a prison and freedom lies in authenticity. You stop living for applause and start living for alignment. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes courage to walk away from opinions that once shaped your identity. It takes strength to stand tall when the world tries to push you down with its judgments. But the moment you take that first step towards your truth, you begin to find peace in your own silence. The truth is, people will always talk. If you fail, they'll talk. If you succeed, they'll still talk. If you stay quiet, they'll wonder. If you speak up, they'll criticize. So why waste your energy trying to please an audience that keeps changing its mind? The world's approval is a moving target, and chasing it will only exhaust your soul. Instead, learn to be comfortable in your solitude. Learn to be proud of your progress even when no one is clapping. Because your journey is not a performance, it's a transformation. And when you stop allowing every voice to have power over you, you start recognizing the most important one, your own. That voice knows your dreams, your battles, your potential. It knows the nights you cried, the mornings you forced yourself to rise, the moments you almost gave up but didn't. Trust that voice, protect it, nurture it. Because the more you listen to it, the stronger it becomes, until one day it's not just a whisper anymore. It becomes a roar that silences every doubt, every criticism, every noise that ever told you that you couldn't. And that, my friends, is when the world finally hears you. Not because you shouted louder, but because your silence spoke with purpose. You see, we live in a world that glorifies strength as something loud and unbreakable. The kind that never cries, never bends, never shows weakness. But I've learned that true strength is not found in pretending to be okay. It's found in the quiet courage to say, I'm not. It's in those raw, unfiltered moments when you allow yourself to feel the pain you've been trying so hard to hide. Because healing doesn't begin when the wounds disappear. It begins when you finally stop running from them. For the longest time, I thought being strong meant smiling through everything. I would tell myself, be brave, don't let them see your pain. And so I built walls, layer after layer, until one day I realized I wasn't protecting myself anymore. I was imprisoning myself. The pain didn't go away just because I ignored it. It stayed, quietly shaping the way I spoke, the way I loved, the way I saw the world. Healing began the day I sat with that pain and asked, what are you here to teach me? Sometimes life breaks us in ways we don't understand. It shatters our plans, our trust, our sense of control. But within those cracks lies an invitation to rebuild, to rediscover, to redefine who we are. Pain has a strange way of stripping away everything unnecessary until only what's real remains. And what's real is always enough. We think healing means forgetting what hurt us, but healing is not erasing the past. It's learning how to carry it differently. Your scars are not signs of weakness. They're proof that you fought battles others didn't see. They're reminders that you survived nights you thought would never end. They're not there to make you ashamed. They're there to remind you of your strength. When you heal what hurts inside you, you stop bleeding on people who didn't cut you. You stop seeking love in places that broke you. You stop expecting others to fix wounds they never caused. Healing is not selfish. It's necessary. Because only when you heal can you love deeply. Only when you heal can you forgive honestly. Only when you heal can you move forward freely. And yes, healing takes time. Some days you'll feel like you're taking 10 steps backward. Some days the memories will hurt again. That's okay. Healing isn't a straight line. It's a slow dance between falling apart and coming back together. Be gentle with yourself in that process. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming whole. So if your heart still aches, don't rush it. Sit with it. Listen to it. Let it guide you toward the parts of yourself that still need love. Because when you finally embrace your pain, instead of resisting it, something extraordinary happens. It transforms from your greatest burden into your greatest strength. And that, my friends, is the kind of healing that doesn't just change your story, it changes your soul. Somewhere along the way, we were taught to measure our worth by comparison. We look around and think, she's doing better, or he's ahead of me. We scroll through screens filled with highlight reels and start to feel like we're falling behind in a race we never agreed to run. But the truth is, life is not a competition. It's a journey of evolution. You are not meant to outshine others. You are meant to outgrow who you were yesterday. I used to compare myself all the time to people who seemed happier, more successful, more confident, and every time I did, I felt smaller. It's exhausting to keep looking sideways when you're meant to be looking forward. The day I stopped asking, why not me, and started asking, what can I learn from this? Everything began to shift. Because comparison steals joy, but growth restores it. You see, the person standing next to you might be on chapter 20 of a story you're still writing the first page of. And that's okay. Every journey unfolds at its own pace. The flowers don't bloom all at once. The stars don't shine with the same brightness. So why do we expect our lives to move in perfect synchrony with someone else's? Growth is deeply personal. It's not about being the best. It's about being better. A little wiser, a little kinder, a little more at peace than you were before. When you focus on evolving instead of competing, your perspective changes. You stop seeing others as threats and start seeing them as mirrors, reflections of what's possible. Their success becomes inspiration, not intimidation. Their light doesn't dim yours. It simply reminds you that you have your own waiting to shine. And that's the beauty of growth. It doesn't demand comparison. It invites transformation. Every time life challenges you, it's offering you a chance to evolve. Every disappointment, every delay, every no is a silent teacher guiding you toward a deeper version of yourself. Sometimes growth means achieving something new, but often it means letting go of old habits, old fears, old versions of yourself that no longer fit the person you are becoming. And that's not failure, that's progress. So stop racing against others. Stop rushing your timeline. The only competition that truly matters is the one between who you are and who you could be. Ask yourself each day, am I growing? Not am I winning? Because winning is temporary. Growth is eternal. And one day when you look back, you won't remember who you were trying to outdo. You'll remember the moments you almost gave up but didn't. The times you fell and rose again. The times you chose patience over panic, faith over fear, and purpose over pride. Because the goal was never to be better than anyone else. It was to become the best version of yourself. Life has a way of breaking us when we least expect it. It doesn't always come with a warning or a reason. One moment you're standing tall, confident, full of plans, and the next, everything you thought was certain crumbles beneath you. In those moments, it's easy to feel like your story has ended. But the truth is, that's often where the real story begins. Because every setback carries within it the seed of a comeback. Every ending is secretly repairing you for a new beginning. I remember the times when I thought I was broken beyond repair. When everything I had built, everything I had dreamed of, fell apart before my eyes. I thought my pain had stolen my purpose. But with time, I realized something beautiful. Life doesn't break you to destroy you. It breaks you to rebuild you into someone stronger, softer, and wiser. The version of you that rises from the ashes will never be the same one that fell. And that's the point. We often think strength is about standing tall all the time, but sometimes it's about falling, learning, and standing again with a different kind of courage. When life knocks you down, it's okay to stay there for a moment. It's okay to cry, to question, to not understand. But don't unpack and live there. Don't let your wounds become your home, because your pain might be a chapter, but it's not the whole book. When everything falls apart, you have a choice: to stay broken or to rebuild. And rebuilding doesn't mean pretending nothing happened. It means accepting what did and using it as a foundation to grow from. It means turning your wounds into wisdom, your heartbreak into humility, your pain into power. The same fire that burns you can also forge you, if you let it. Sometimes, life removes people, opportunities, or dreams from your path, not to punish you, but to prepare you. What you lose might be the very thing that's making space for what you deserve. But you can only see that when you stop asking why me and start asking what now. The shift from victimhood to purpose is where the comeback begins. Don't underestimate the strength it takes to rise again. Every time you do, you're telling the universe, I am not finished yet. Every time you choose hope over despair, you are writing a new ending. You don't have to come back louder or richer or more successful. Come back wiser, gentler, more in tune with who you are. That's the kind of comeback that truly matters. So if you find yourself in a season of loss, don't lose yourself with it. Let life break what's meant to break, your fear, your ego, your need for control, and then rise again, carrying only what's real, what's true, what's you. Because the most powerful version of you is the one who learned how to rise after falling. We live in a world obsessed with perfection. Everywhere you look, you're told you need to be more, more successful, more beautiful, more accomplished. And so we chase this illusion of a flawless life, thinking that's what happiness looks like. But perfection is not only impossible, it's exhausting. The truth is, real growth isn't about perfections, it's about progress. It's about those quiet, unseen steps you take every single day toward becoming a little more of who you are meant to be. There was a time I thought I had to have it all figured out to be worthy of love or respect. I thought if I could just get everything right, maybe I'd finally be enough. But life has a way of teaching us that enough isn't found in doing everything perfectly. It's found in doing the best you can, with what you have, where you are. The little victories, the mornings you get up even when you don't want to, the days you choose kindness over anger, the moments you forgive yourself for not being perfect, those are the milestones that matter. Progress doesn't always look impressive. Sometimes it's quiet, gentle, and slow. It's taking a deep breath instead of reacting. It's saying no to what drains you. Yet, and even if it disappoints someone else, it's learning to rest without guilt. It's looking at your reflection and saying, I'm still learning, but I'm proud of how far I've come. That's growth. And it's far more beautiful than perfection ever could be. We often overlook our own progress because we're comparing it to someone else's destination. But your pace is your own. Just because someone blooms earlier doesn't mean your time won't come. Flowers don't compete. They simply grow when the season is right. And so will you. The key is to keep going, even when you don't see results right away. Because growth is happening in the silence, in the struggle, in the persistence that no one applauds. When you celebrate progress, you start to find joy in the journey itself. You stop waiting for someday to be proud of yourself. You stop defining success by external validation and start feeling grateful for the small moments of peace, strength, and clarity that bloom inside you. Life isn't a straight line. It's full of pauses, detours, and slow climbs. But every small step forward, no matter how imperfect, is a victory worth honoring. So please don't be so hard on yourself for not being where you think you should be. The fact that you're trying, learning, and growing, that's enough. You don't have to shine all the time. You just have to keep moving toward your light, one step at a time. Because in the end, it's not perfection that changes your life. It's the courage to keep going even when no one is watching. There comes a time in life when you realize that proving yourself to others is a never-ending race, one that leaves you tired, anxious, and disconnected from who you really are. For so long, we live to impress, to be seen, to be validated. We work so hard trying to make people notice our worth that we forget we already have it. But something beautiful happens when you stop chasing approval and start focusing on becoming your best self. You begin to shine in a way that no amount of attention can manufacture. A glow that comes from peace, from purpose, from finally being true to who you are. When I say shock everyone, I don't mean shock them with what you own or how successful you become. Shock them with your light. Shock them with your kindness, your resilience, your calm confidence. Shock them by choosing peace over pettiness, self-respect over validation, and growth over gossip. Let your transformation speak for itself. Let the way you carry yourself, the way you rise after every fall, the way you love despite your scars, be the loudest statement you ever make. The world notices authenticity. People may not say it out loud, but they see when you've healed, when you've grown, when you've stopped seeking attention and started walking in purpose. That kind of change doesn't need an announcement. It radiates quietly. You walk into a room differently, you speak differently, you forgive more easily, you stop explaining yourself because you've made peace with who you are. That's the kind of shock the world never sees coming, the kind that doesn't scream for attention but commands respect. There was a time when I thought success was about showing the world what I could achieve. But now I understand the true victory is internal. It's when you no longer need anyone to tell you that you're enough. It's when you stop performing and start living. It's when you realize that being at peace with yourself is far more fulfilling than being praised by everyone else. Because the truth is, people forget, opinions fade, and applause dies down. But the peace that comes from self-acceptance, that stays. So don't waste your energy trying to convince anyone of your worth. You don't need to prove who you are. Just be it. Keep showing up. Keep working on yourself. Keep healing, growing, and evolving in silence. Let your results, your peace, your joy be the answer to every doubt that was ever thrown your way. And one day, without even trying, you'll look around and realize you didn't have to shout to be seen. You didn't have to prove to be believed. You simply focused on yourself. And that quiet transformation became the loudest shock of all,